Hello, and welcome to this top 10 list of the Star Wars movies. At number 10 is J.J. Abrams' relaunch of the film franchise The Force Awakens Episode 7. It was criticized for being too much like the original 1977 Star Wars movie, but the biggest problem with Episode 7 is Harrison Ford returning as an aged Han Solo. His appearance in the film overshadows the new characters, which are interesting and just as endurable as the characters from the original 1977 film. Coming in at number 9 is Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. The film nicely wraps up J.J. Abrams' new trilogy, but it gets far too lost in nostalgia, bringing back characters like the Emperor Palpatine. And the really only redeeming quality of the film is the revelation of the character Rey becoming a Skywalker and meeting her destiny as the last Jedi. Coming in at 8th place is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which at the time was a big disappointment for most Star Wars fans and general moviegoers alike. But over the years, it's gained a certain recognition and popularity, and it was the first new Star Wars film in 16 years, created by the original director and writer George Lucas. The character of Darth Maul became the film's most enduring character, with Jar Jar Binks being much disliked and quickly forgotten. At number 7 on the list is Attack of the Clones Episode 2, which is regarded as the least favorite of most fans, and yet it's placed higher than The Phantom Menace because it's a more well-rounded, well-crafted story and film, and offers a backstory to Anakin Skywalker and Padme. One of the most memorable scenes in the film is Yoda in a lightsaber battle with Count Dooku, the first time we ever saw the character of Yoda pick up a lightsaber and engage in such battle. Topping off the bottom 5 in 6th place is the Rogue film known as Rogue One, which had little to do with the Force and did not feature Yoda seen here, but it did act as a very welcome bridge between episodes 3 and 4, filling in certain gaps dealing with the rebel spies and their attempt to secure the Death Star plans, which are mentioned in the opening scroll of episode 4 of the original film. At number 5 on the list is the 1983 Star Wars film Return of the Jedi, which nicely wrapped up George Lucas's original Star Wars trilogy, but most fans agree that it's the weakest film in the original trilogy, yet it offers a closure between Luke Skywalker reconciling with who his father is and acting as a final conclusion to George Lucas's now 6 film saga. When this film was released, characters such as Jabba the Hutt and the Emperor, which would become known as Emperor Palpatine, were new characters whose backstory wouldn't be revealed until George Lucas's prequel trilogy. At number 4 is Episode 8, The Last Jedi, which ironically J.J. Abrams actually had little to do with, a film written and directed by Rian Johnson, who seemed to have a better grasp, surprisingly, on the Star Wars films, and particularly the character of Luke Skywalker. At number 3 is the original 1977 classic, which was originally simply known as Star Wars, later to be referred to as Episode 4, A New Hope. This was a groundbreaking film which nearly single-handedly created the term of blockbuster and shaped the way movie making would be throughout the 1980s and the rest of the 20th century. It's a film that introduced us to so many memorable characters: Luke, Han, and Leia, and the droids, and Alec Guinness in a memorable role as Obi-Wan Kenobi, not to forget Chewbacca, and yet it pales in comparison now compared to others Star Wars films that both George Lucas and J.J. Abrams would produce. Well, there's only 2 films left in this top 10 list, and if you've been keeping track, you're well aware of what 2 Star Wars films are remaining. But on this list, it may be surprising what is number 2 and number 1. Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5, comes in at number 2. For many decades, always held as the greatest and most quintessential Star Wars film in the eyes of most diehard fans. And yet, by now, it's somewhat dated in its production values, but it is still a classic and one of the more rewatchable Star Wars films. And of course, it gave us that classic immortal line of, "Luke, I am your father." And finally, coming in at number 1, Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, which is the pinnacle of all Star Wars films, the culmination of the saga between Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan, Anakin's rise and fall into the dark side. It has so many likable things about it, starting out with a space battle sequence that lasts for nearly half hour and then ends with one of the most elaborate lightsaber battles with a backdrop of a lava planet. It has just about everything, including the kitchen sink, which one of the computer designers included actually in the opening battle if you look closely for. So topping off the list is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. Thank you for watching, and if you disagree with me, leave your comments down below, and goodbye.